Good afternoon from Shop and from Seattle. It is Sunday, early afternoon. The sun just came out, just peeked through the clouds on a chilly but not as cold of a day as yesterday. Here in Seattle, I'm expecting this to be my final day. What's up, sub grappling 805? I'm expecting this high quality of V. I'm expecting this to be my last day in Seattle. I expect to be hitting the road probably not too long after the stream, but who knows what might happen as we are live out here at Shop. So for those of you who are expecting, I think I might be heading to Portland. We'll see about that, but I think I might be heading there. So for those of you expecting to see Shop dismantled today, I guess there are still some hours left in the day for that to happen, but I don't think you're going to be seeing that. That just is my impression walking around here, and based on what I was hearing yesterday from Stephanie Dormis, the mayor's chief of staff, and just from my interactions with people and everything that I've been witnessing over the past week, it leads me to believe that today will not be the end of Chop, and I guess I'll show you why you might think so as well, given the setup here. So a lot of the artwork is now gone, particularly here on Pine Street, on the block between 11th and 12th. Someone's saying Shop reduced to 3 blocks. Is that true? Is my picture still here? Yeah? Alright, just hoping that that's not the case. Anyway, we're between 11th and 12th. The abandoned East Precinct is up here. Alright, good. Based on what I'm seeing in the comments, good. So the abandoned East Precinct is right here. There are still plenty of tents and barricades surrounding the East Precinct. It looks like the East Precinct is actually more barricaded off now. There were some barricades that were moved around either overnight or early this morning. I'm not sure if these 3 were here previously, but you can see on the Pine Street side that the East Precinct is very much barricaded off, and I'll show you the 12th Avenue side in a little bit. But in the meanwhile, here on Pine between 11th and 12th, a lot of the art is missing. I'll probably bring Annabelle on in a little bit to talk about that. So 12th Avenue between, getting comments that the mayor told them they would barricade the precinct for him. There seems to be agreement between the city and Chop that the barricades can remain around the East Precinct for now. However, the city had been saying that they wanted the barricades. City had been saying they wanted the barricades removed from elsewhere in Chop, and here early Sunday afternoon they've not been removed. It's not windy, but there's a breeze. So here at the corner of 11th and Pine, we're over by the George Floyd Memorial and the memorial for other people who were killed as well, which I've showed you multiple times, and there's some people gathered there at the moment. But you can see this barricade, which is on 11th, right next to Pine, is still standing here. Likewise, the barricade, if you call it that, here on the north side of the intersection where you've got the couches, it's not as fortified of a barricade, but it's still here. And then when you walk down Pine, by the Rancho Bravo Tacos Mexican restaurant and along Cal Anderson Park down to 10th, this street, as I've been saying, which actually, I don't know if these were moved here. This street is pretty empty, as I've been saying for the past couple days. Although you've got a barricade of the Rancho Bravo parking lot and drive-through to some extent. I didn't see the question, Agent Orange. I'm going back if what. But yeah, so I'm making my way down to 10th and Pine, and this barricade is still here. And this seems to run a bit in contradiction to the messages coming out of City Hall this week, that they wanted these barricades, the ones that are not over by the precinct, to be removed by today. And at least that was the message that Omari Salisbury of Converge Media was relaying out of the meeting between Mayor Jenny Durkin and the protesters on Friday. I wasn't getting such clear answers when I was asking questions directly to Stephanie Dormis, the mayor's chief of staff, yesterday, though she's been saying, and she was saying to me yesterday, that she expects the barricades and the objects in the street to be incrementally removed, except for the over by the East Precinct. You want to pop on to talk about the art?
Yes, I can.
All right, here's Annabelle, everyone.
Hello.
What's the situation with the art, particularly on Pine Street between 11th and 12th?
So, when you've seen our last streams, you noticed that here were a ton of boxes all over, which have been removed now. Yesterday there was a big fight about the art, and I know a lot of people think, the art is ugly, but actually it's contemporary art. It's the expression of the people's feeling, the way they see society. It's controversial, not everybody has to like it, but obviously when you look at the art, it makes the people talk about it, if they like it or not, or everybody has something to say about it. And the art was all over here in the middle.
So let's replay a bit yesterday. What were we seeing yesterday in terms of art being removed right here on Pine Street between 11th and 12th?
There were people from the city coming in, and one lady, she said she was a part of the shop, and they removed all the art, they took it apart, and it was not clear where they are going to put it. They said that they are going to provide a waterproof box. The art is not going to come into a gallery or a museum or something like that. And I don't know where they actually put the art right now, but it's totally gone now. I think there was an agreement with the city that the art has to be removed by Sunday.
Well,
but
I'm not so sure of
that.
that. So as far as I'm aware, the city hasn't removed, city workers themselves have not removed any of the art, but the city's been helping facilitate the removal of art by providing storage things, for lack of a better term, but due to lack of clarity, some storage boxes or something for Chop to store the art in. But still pretty clear at the end of our stream yesterday, there was some fighting going on, or I should say loud arguing. And I tried on Twitter to reach out to Amari Salisbury about that, because he was one of the people involved in the argument.
Yeah, so the way I heard it, Amari made a big deal about the art being removed because he said it's a part of history, like, I don't know, like very important things, but shouldn't be just taken away. They, should provide them with a great place where they can put the art so, everybody can see it. And we also talked to a lady who walked her dog here. She was also upset that it's, being removed. She actually liked the art around, but Omari got in a huge fight with a city worker who removed the art. He did not agree.
Well, no. I don't know if there was a city worker involved in that.
Yes, there was a city worker.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure about this. And yeah, they were arguing loudly on the street, and and some of the protesters just didn't approve that the art is going to be removed.
Anyway, I'll probably try reaching out to Omari on Twitter again. I don't know if he saw it, but yeah, I asked him if he'd be willing to do an interview about the situation with the removal of the artwork. It seems to be something he's very passionate about, not just reporting on, but passionate about. And there have been so many conflicting messages with regard to the art, but regardless, what you can see is that yes, there's still some plywood, still some nice name, Nomadic Viewer, still some art lying here on Pine between 11th and 12th, but most of it has been removed. However, the barricades have not been removed. As we were talking here, is that Omari? Hey, that's Omari. Let's see if we could pull off a quick interview. Excuse me, Omari. You got a second to chat? I've got a stream going. I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Who are you?
My name's Josh Friedman. I'm a reporter from California, and I've been here the past week.
Reporter with who?
Cal Coast News, and I'm live on my personal YouTube channel.
All right, I got like 2-3 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'd like to ask you about the artwork.
Yeah.
What's the situation with the artwork being removed, and where's it going, and what do you know about it?
Actually, so Bobby, here's what I can do. So my name's Omari Salisbury. I'm a journalist that's been out here since day one. With Converge Media, a lot of people have seen us on Facebook and our streams and everything. And the art a lot of art has been removed. But actually, my colleague, one of the producers, Bobby Steels, was here all day yesterday and sat in on a lot of the talks and negotiations about it. So I just want to authenticate Bobby, and he could probably tell you basically what's going on.
Let's check in with you guys. Yep. All right, what questions did you have regarding the artwork yesterday?
I want to know what's the status of it being removed. Who's removing it? Do we know where it's going?
So me being a reporter with the media and stuff like that, it's not really my job to get involved in those kind of details. But since a lot of my friends are the ones that did the art out here, I tried to step in and give solutions to the problem amongst the people of CHOP, amongst the artists, where it was going to go, and have some kind of transparency to see where the people of CHOP trying to figure out what to do. So the status, to my knowledge, personal knowledge, is that the city provided a storage container that they do not have the keys for the lock. I told them they should probably have more. They should have 3 locks on that thing. So without 3 different private groups having keys that nobody can open the storage container together.
So all the artwork, or most of the artwork, is being stored in a single storage container?
Yeah, all together.
And is this a city-owned storage container?
Yes, the city does own the store. It loaned it to the Citizens Shop.
Interesting. Because yesterday I was asking Stephanie Dormis from the mayor's office, and she told me that it was not being stored in a city facility.
Not a city facility, but the storage container is owned by the city. It is on loan to the Citizens Shop, and the Citizens Shop personally cataloged, took photos, and numbered all the art pieces and the locations where they were located on each of the barriers.
And which art pieces are staying? Which art pieces are going? Is there some way to?
That was one of the points of contention between a lot of people. The art is subjective, and I know one person was trying to take a piece of wood that had writings on it and was wanting to use it to fortify the precinct. Then other people were saying, hey, this is a piece of art, piece of catalog. As you can see, there's some pieces that were left over. There's one down there. So I'm not sure who's in charge of saying what's what. And that I had some people that in the art community that came down and tried to represent the artist side of it. And I connected them with people that were, citizens of CHOP, and then introduced everybody. And the city was down there. The utilities manager was down here. The Department of Transportation head was down here, and then Stephanie from the mayor's office was here. And they're trying to just, figure out what to do with the art. So I did more than my job.
Can you?
And then I stepped back and said, figure it out amongst yourself, guys. And I think that they figured it out. And as far as to my knowledge, 100%, we have it on videotape. The people who were involved, the storage facility, the storage unit, and how it was being cataloged. That's the deal with Barclay. Where it's at right now, it might still be down there. I don't know how to check.
Can you explain the Converge Media role in this? Is it that people approached you and they wanted you to?
Nobody approached us about anything. Our job as an independent media company, as citizen journalists, we're just here to try to tell the whole story. Not lean to one side, left, right. We try to stay down the middle.
I mean, with regard to the artwork, it just so happened that you guys could help facilitate or something like that.
No, I mean, we didn't try to step into this. I just took off my media hat, and I'm a resident of this neighborhood, and I lived in this neighborhood for 13 years, I walk these streets, I have friends that own businesses in the neighborhood, I have friends that live in this neighborhood, I have friends that live in all these buildings, so I try to do my job to the best of my ability. But what I basically did was set my media hat aside and said, hey, for the sake of art, let me see if I can, connect a couple different people. For transparency, it's protecting yourself. See how it's all about because you're going to get fingers pointed at the city. Like, you're stealing our art. The Citizens Shop. Hey, what's going to be happening with the art? What are you guys doing? If you guys are selling it, if you're doing art, where's it going to go? Art, they have to, they want, it's their art, and they get to the world of CHOP. So I just tried to, connect the dots. And like I was saying yesterday, I talked to some of the people that were involved, a lot of people that were involved, and they said, hey, I think you guys all want the same goals, right? I think you guys are arguing about the way you're going to get there. One person's wanting to go through the mountains, the other one's wanting to go take the river route. But, let's figure out a way that works for everybody. And, there you go.
One more art question. I think this is the largest piece of art, the fist at home plate on the baseball diamond. What's happening with that?
That's still under. It was up to me. I put it on the rooftop of the Converge Media studios, but that's not up to me. I don't know that there's still some contention about that. I think there's some people with the Citizens of CHOP, the people who created it, the city, because they are saying that they're going to move it. So we're going to move the Citizen Shop. We're taking that thing. We're going to put it in front of the precinct. That's what the people on the front lines sleeping in those tents said they're going to do with that precinct. I explained to them that I watched the people build that. They tried to get 75 individuals killed. They had to bring in a crane. So I said, you guys do need a crane. I said, we'll get that crane. So
I see a couple cranes lurking in the background over there.
So it could be moved to the precinct today, or it could be moved to a private home. Maybe it's going to the sculpture park down on the waterfront. I don't know.
I talked to Kate yesterday who took down the art, and she said she's going to put houses, and everybody who wants can paint on them.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's what she told me. And she said, you don't have to apply for that as an artist. Everybody can just do it. I don't know if it's true, but that's what she said.
To my knowledge, I have not heard anything from that from city officials or even citizens of the shop. So maybe there's a misunderstanding about that, but I don't think they're putting up any houses. As far as I know, I think they're just coming in there to move a lot of these concrete barriers. As to my knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, not Converge Media side is, I really appreciate all the art that came out of this. Whether policies get changed or, if funny the SPD happens or not, the art is amazing and beautiful, and I'm all for artists. And I know that the city is going to preserve they're in talks with the organizers that did the Black Lives Matter mural in the middle of the street, and they're going to preserve that and they're going to keep that to keep the rest of Seattle until Seattle's no more. I know that Sam Zimbabwe, the head of SDOT, is working with the organizers and the artists to keep that vibrant, keep that as a walkway. I don't know.
I think I heard Omari mention that in his stream last night. There's talk of turning a couple of these streets right here into a pedestrian zone.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I talked to I know a lot of people that are involved with that, and that's what he wants. That's what the Seattle Department of Transportation.
Who's he? Zimbabwe?
Yeah, Zimbabwe. That's kind of his proposal to the city. Now, if the city agrees to it, that's not on him. He can't make that happen on his own. So don't. If it doesn't happen, don't do it. But I know that at least that's what he told me. That's what he's proposing to the city is to trim the sidewalk down, maybe make a one way, and then keep that as a walkway. And because they do that in the summertime here, a lot of times they shut down the streets over there on the pipeline. I'm not sure if you guys are from here, but they shut down the streets sometimes.
We're
not going to put the art in a gallery or
the art that's here.
that's what they said.
Who said that?
The lady I talked to yesterday.
I don't know who you talked to, what person that is, but I don't think they necessarily know what they're going to do with the art.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of the African American Heritage Society wants to display some of the art. There's private galleries that I think that's what the point of contention is. No one knows what's going to happen to the art. Some people talk about selling it, giving the money to organizations. Some people said the artists want their pieces back. Some people said, it's public, it should be free. Smithsonian has contacted some people about taking some art pieces. So no one knows that. I think that's what the problem is. Where is art going? Who is in possession of it? And that's still up in the air. I've got a couple of contacts of people that are involved with that, but that's strictly for me. That's not anything personal. The art is people's art. That's my opinion, personal opinion, and I hope that it stays with the people. If they want to donate a couple of people, travel around the world. If they want to do a traveling art exhibit, that's one thing. But then it needs to be decided about what the I know how art goes. So anyway, what was your name, sir?
Josh Friedman. Bobby, everyone here knows Converge Media, but for some of the people in my audience who don't, could you give Converge a quick plug?
Yeah, so basically independent journalists, citizen journalists. Converge has been around a long time. They do a lot of stuff. They work with the Black community on all sorts of things. Quality Now, African Town, they have shows, podcasts, they do marketing for some people. But yeah, whereweconverge.com. And then my company too is Soundcasting Network. I do a lot of that stuff too. But yeah, we know a lot of people. We live here. We're not just media coming in here and trying to profit off of a movement or anything like that. Where we actually do care, but we try to show the whole story. Let the story tell itself. We don't tell the story. The story tells itself. So we're trying. We get things. I know there's been some people that have said like, you were wrong, this is wrong. It's like, you always have a clear line of communication. As you see, you walked up, you talked to, he's out here, I'm usually out here, I'm not, we get things wrong, we try to correct ourselves. No one's perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you to expect me to be perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and you know, we try to admit when we're wrong or we got something wrong. So we're gonna try to let anybody know.
All right, thanks a lot, Bobby.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Well, that was perfect timing. I don't know how. Can you hold it for a second?
Yes.
I don't know how enthused the chat is about the artwork here, but at least here. Shut up. That's just a little background chatter. At least here in Chop, the artwork is a humongous deal. So I wanted to get a little context, and specifically I wanted to speak to Omari because, as you and I were just saying, we saw him in a loud argument with someone yesterday right around here on the very block we're standing on over artwork. So I wanted to hear from him and hear a little bit about Converge Media's role in all this. So that was perfect timing. Although we spoke mostly with Bobby and not Omari.
That's fine too.
Property owners agree with artwork. I can give you a partial answer to that. Definitely not a full answer, but a partial answer. In a little bit, I'll talk a little, and Annabelle will chime in as well. Some conversations we've had with some locals who aren't part of CHOP. Right now we are coming up on the East Precinct, the core of CHOP, the epicenter as some people call it, CHOP, the place where all the action is centered now. And as I get an eye from at least one person who's confronted me about the camera before, I point it down at the ground, and you guys know this drill by now. We've been out here for pretty much a week. It's 6 days, but I think this is our 7th day of streaming out here, right? So we started Monday, I think. Or did we start Tuesday? I think Monday. All right, here's the East Precinct, busier in a sense than before. Sorry, trying to keep pace with comments. I've missed most of the comments thus far. Yeah, it's busier in the sense that there are lots and lots of tents all gathered densely together right outside the East Precinct. And while
Setting up now.
oh, there's a vendor setting back up here. There are vendors. Oh, this is John. Is that John Dom, who's now Nomadic Viewer? I'm not sure. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, so Annabelle's noting that there are vendors returning here. The vendors had left the corner of Pine and 12th a few days ago, but now it looks like some are coming back. I don't know if they're the same ones. And then lots and lots of tents right outside 12th and Pine. Oh, okay, now John Dom is Nomadic Viewer. I'll make a mental note of that. Lots and lots of tents bunched together outside of the abandoned East Precinct, and the protesters here are making it very clear that they plan to stay put and to defend this East Precinct and to stop the city and the Seattle Police Department from taking it back, at least until they get their demands met. Or maybe some of them just are going to refuse to ever give up control of the abandoned East Precinct. We'll see. I'll walk you down 12th a little bit. Probably not pointing the camera toward the precinct just because of, well, maybe I'll do it a little bit. Just because of all the tents here now and lots of residential tents, which makes it more difficult to film. Previously, when you didn't have all these tents here, you could get all kinds of shots of the East Precinct without having to worry about filming inside someone's tent, but that isn't the case now. Where's the new art tent?
Yeah, our time 12 to 6.
You want to have a chat with him, see if he wants to come on?
Yes.
So Annabelle's going to go speak with this art time tent. Let's see if this man wants to come on the broadcast.
Not really.
Okay.
That's cool. No problem.
It's okay.
Have a nice day. So not even Annabelle's charm. I'm saying not even Annabelle's charm is gonna get the guy in the art tent to come on the broadcast. He looks about 3/4 awake. Not half asleep, but I'd say he's about 3/4 awake. The porta potties remain, they've gone nowhere. Likewise, this donation tent setup area, that hasn't gone anywhere, though there might be some new things inside, or maybe there are things missing.
It looks definitely more empty.
When you're saying it, you mean the donation
the
tent?
donation tent. Before there were lots of plates, hygiene articles, pots and pans, and basically everything what you need in your household. And now it looks a little bit empty. But they were also saying they're asking for new donations.
Well, it looks like they could use some new donations. Did this look like this before, or was that boarded up? I'm racking my brain. And now we've got Eltana opening up literally. Eltana. Get tested if you walk by the porta potties. You don't even need to go you don't even need to go in and touch anything, and you already need to get tested. So the Eltana Cafe, what's it called? The Bagel Cafe or something? I forget what. Whatever. This cafe here, Eltana, I've seen open once or twice. It's Sunday brunch hour, so theoretically they'd be getting a lot of customers right now. It doesn't look like that's the case, but they're literally opening up. Maybe I'll come back later and see if there anyone sitting down and eating. I don't know if I showed you guys this sign before, but it's been here for a couple days now. Trump-free zone. No Russian agent provocateurs here. That's a sign that's on the 12th Avenue side of the East Precinct. Looks like people have got the grill going. There's some smoke coming up from it around a tent and some couches right outside the precinct, and I'm not going to show you that. We got t-shirts for sale here in the intersection of 12th and Pine. You can see these boards, barricades, artwork, whatever you want to call it. They're not gone. I think they might have been moved here from somewhere else. I hear a little rap music in the background coming from the direction of a tent. It feels a little bit like there's a touristy atmosphere right now. Would you say that?
Yes, definitely. A lot of people are coming here, checking out the artwork, taking pictures, hanging out here. We talked to one lady earlier who was walking her dog.
Let's get into that in a little bit. I want to do a whole little segment on that. Yeah, it looks like there are quite a few people on a Sunday stroll right now up and down Pine Street taking a look at what's going on in CHOP. Which is a change of pace, at least from what some people expected, because a day or two ago, all kinds of media reports were suggesting that the city was going to dismantle CHOP today. I haven't seen any city workers here. I've been out here for probably about 2 hours today. You're getting some love from the comment stream. Of course, the Black Lives Matter shirts are always for sale, as are the I Can't Breathe. Those are classics here in CHOP. The $6 hot dog vendor hasn't gone anywhere. He's always here. Was he here yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, rain or shine, the $6 hot dog vendor is here. No rain today. It's not very warm, but it's not too cold either. Yesterday got a bit chilly. Oh, you want to come on the broadcast? We got a live. All right, I'll do what I got to do.
Double victory. Yeah, but I have a double victory.
Can you explain what your double victory is?
I tell you like this, man. I make a two-country revolution. Me, Japanese American, I make revolution. You know that?
You're American Creole, you said?
I make a revolution.
Oh, revolution in America.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Two country. One man is there. Power, heaven power. I have a revolution. Japan America, they have the Sunday, pay from Satan. Also, they have the Sunday, Thanksgiving.
You're saying Ethiopia and
Indian America.
Ethiopia?
Ethiopia and America.
Okay.
They have independent. They have the same 200 the same day.
All right.
One, they got independence from Satan, and then another one, Thanksgiving Day, which means America should have two Independence Day. One is from England, one is from Satan. Also, she have America two Thanksgiving Day. So those two holidays, it's gonna be the same day. Ethiopia and America.
Independence from Satan, you said?
Satan, yeah.
So,
Ethiopia, America and Ethiopia are the most victimized country by Satan in the world. The most victimized country in the world. So those two countries today, they are independent from Satan. Also, yeah.
Like Lucifer?
Yeah.
so how can you explain how the USA became enslaved to Satan and how it gained independence?
Just like, I don't know much story, but I tell you, just breaking news. Ethiopia and America, they got independence from Satan.
Okay. I've been to Ethiopia once.
Yes, that's pleasant.
I remember how to say thank you. I'm a Saganalo. Yeah, but I don't remember any other Amharic. I'm sorry.
So this is, I said, I call it double V. This is the sign, whatever. This is one V, this is one V. Double V.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say?
You want to know more than that. For now, this is.
Okay. All right. I'm a Saganalo.
I'm a second.
Oh yeah, so no one's in the couches right now. So long as no one's in the couches, I can film them. Yeah, you can run through, no problem. Yeah, here they are, as always, at the corner of 11th and Pine, or at least north of the intersection slightly, and right beside Cal Anderson Park, where we head right now. I think those couches used to be the Conversation Cafe, but I'm not positive. I have not sit on them at any point over the past week. The couches have been there for some time. They predate me here in CHOP. Is this a new sign? I think so. Oh, well, go figure. Ethiopian. Can you guys read it? I think you can. Because I have a black sun, the World Bank is evil justice. The Couch Street is 11th.
Big right there.
What's going on?
Talabani bitch right there. Fake A.
Talabani? I don't know exactly what this man's saying as he walks by. Nomadic viewer, you missed my review of the hot dog stand and brief interview of the owner or man who works there. I don't know if he's the owner. I did eat a hot dog there a few days ago, and I gave him a review. I gave him a shout out on this channel. I even paid for the hot dog. So he got more than his money's worth from me. Maybe this is a sign of the cleanup efforts that have long been promised here at Cal Anderson Park. You know what, I never noticed before that if you sit in the dugout at the baseball diamond here, at least the dugout on the first base side, you see here it says Black Lives Matter, disband SPD, and my black neighbor's lives matter. This is inside the dugout, first base dugout, on one of the diamonds here at Cal Anderson Park by 11th and Pine.
There's a question, what's going to happen with the fist?
Okay, can you speak up a little bit?
Oh, so the question is still what's going to happen with the fist artwork. It's a huge sculpture, I would say. There's a crane. I don't know if it's...
So this fist that Annabelle is speaking about is the fist I was asking Bobby Stills is his last name, right? This is the fist I was asking Bobby Stills of Converge Media about in our interview 20 minutes ago or so, whenever that interview was. And here's that crane that I was referring to. I don't know if that crane is for the fist. Bobby was saying something like 17 people tried to lift it several weeks back and it didn't work. As you can see, Cal Anderson Park is not deserted. Many people have left the park, but many people still have not. And earlier I counted about a dozen residential tents at the park, and I mean just on, I should clarify, just on this field, and maybe a few other larger tents here which you could see. And we're talking just on the sports field here. We're not even talking about the gardening area where many people were sleeping, and I believe many people continue to sleep. And let's head on over there and take a look. For all the talk from both sides, both the protesters and the city, of getting people out of the park, I would say it does look cleaner, yes. But for all the talk, there's still a lot of people remaining in the park. And it looks a bit cleaner on the sports field, but I don't know if it looks cleaner over in the gardening area. Let's go take a look. And remember, as always, there are lots of occupied tents in the gardening area, so often I've got to point the camera down at the ground. You guys know the drill by now. Actually, I've never shown people, I never even noticed the sign before. Here's the sign. Apparently the sports field is called the Bobby Morris Playfield. You can see the park is called Cal Anderson Park.
Just a regular car.
You want to come on camera? I've got a stream going.
Yeah, I'm on down.
You are or not?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you like Cal Anderson Park?
It's a great park, man. It's a lot of cool people here. The energy is already like this, regardless of the protests or what people want to have their own agenda for. This is a very open community, and there's a lot of great people here before this movement even happened. But it's just really showing the opportunities in this community and the chances of people. You know, we really do need change here. And we really need people to step up and make a difference with whatever they believe in. It's an open community for anybody to do whatever they want. But really, this all started from Black Lives Matter. That's the original reason why this is happening. And it's sad to think that this is what Even a small protest should have been just a regular protest turned into this, and but it is a reality, and we have to accept it and see the flaws in our government and the fucked up shit going on with our president and fucking money, and see the homeless that need help, and see the community that really needs to be heard, because if they don't get heard, who knows what's going to happen. But if people listen to them, and people listen to the people that are speaking and that want to be heard, we can all get along so easily. And personally, I see no way this could ever turn violent. This is going to be peaceful all the way through, because there's just way too much good here. I just see no way that this could ever be anything but good. There's been nothing but good the whole time. Anyone that says otherwise is lying. That's all I've seen. I've been here for 6 years, I basically lived in this park for 6 years.
You basically lived in this park for 6 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you were saying at the beginning that it's similar atmosphere, what it was previously and what it is now?
Absolutely.
Or was I not understanding you correctly?
You're right. This community is already such a developed community with so many great people, and obviously society and the way things are is not ideal for a lot of people, especially like me, that don't have much money or opportunities, but especially black people, and especially people that just just really people that don't have opportunities, just didn't get a chance to fucking, that's why people come here, and that's why this is open for lesbian, gay community, fucking anybody that wants to be here and live their life without being judged. That's why you come to Capitol in the first place, and that's why this shit is happening here. It's because it's an open community for anyone, and really, it just proves the fact that this is our place. This is our streets. We can literally do whatever we want with these streets. The city will work with us. The governor will work with us. We have to fucking get her out of office, but we have to at least work with her while she is in office. But at the end of the day, it's just about fitting into your agenda and what you want, and making sure that your voice is heard and what your needs are taken care of. That's really important, to make sure that everyone's needs are met and not, ignored. I mean, what the fuck? We've been ignored for so long. People are upset. It's turned into a completely different thing because there's so many people hurting here. The homeless issue is huge. It's a huge part of this, and everyone needs to be heard. Everyone needs to have a place right now, and it's not only because of Black Lives Matter, but that is what started this movement of people waking up and saying something. I've been doing this for years. My son is half black, I suck that you didn't have to say that, but it's the truth, and it's hard to even have to, we're all people, we're all here together, and we're all here to make a difference with how we feel and what we want, People want a chance. Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves help. Everyone deserves an opportunity to live their life and be who they want to be. And there's a lot of people here that get ignored on a daily basis, and I'm damn one of them. And yeah, they need to be heard. There's a lot of them. Tons of people here that need to be heard. And, everyone's trying to just do their best. I don't know what else to say with that, I'm just trying to, I don't even like to talk. It's hard for me to talk, but that's what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I hope it gives you a chance to be heard.
It's going, but, I wish it happened faster. We need it faster. I'm telling you, there's so many people that need this so bad. We've been here for a long time. Long fucking time. Hopefully, if there's a lot of fucking forget about it after a week. People don't just, you never know. But at the end of the day, who cares? Doesn't really matter.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Did you grab that other?
Yes.
I've got one in my back pocket. All right. Just rearranging my battery pack. I hope you guys could hear him. He was backing away from me during much of the interview, so I don't think that helped with the audio, but I didn't see comments about not being able to hear him. I think it's well worth it to give him an opportunity to be heard here, given that there's so much talk about homeless issues here in this park at the moment, and he says he's been living in this park for the better part of 6 years. You can see the tents here around the edge of the sports field, and now we head toward the gardening area where filming rules definitely apply, but I can still give you a picture of how there are lots of tents remaining. Lots of tents remain in the areas behind the sports field at Cal Anderson Park. And you know what? I think this has been a bit overlooked in the press. This part of the park, I'm not monitoring all media, but for instance, last night when I was, and I'm going to point the camera down as I walked directly in the path of a couple people and walked by a whole lot of tents. Last night I was, hold on, we got a boombox coming by. Yeah, so tents, and these tents are right next to a playground that's empty. I don't know if it's empty for COVID reasons. I don't know if it's empty for chop reasons or what. But yeah, lots of tents here. And as I was saying, last night I was tuned into Omari's stream, and he says that he won't go back here. He calls this the unhoused area, and he's doing pretty well. How about you? I just gotta warn you that I've got a phone here and I've got a live stream going. If you want to be on, you're more than welcome. I'll interview you, but I'm doing a live stream right now. You want to come on? Yeah. Okay, you got it, sir. Where should I stand? Right over here? Mm-hmm. All right, so you've got the floor. Tell people a little about you.
How you guys doing? My name's Paradise Antoine. I'm here from Seattle. You know, I'm a Inca / Choctaw, you know what I mean, which is synonymous with Negro in the old books. And in regards to the chop, and in regards to the Black Lives Matter and no justice, no peace, it'll be vital for the people here to use that window of opportunity that was given by the police. However you want to say they got to their destination of abandoning the precinct or being drove out the precinct, regardless of what it was some type of paperwork, because they definitely did not want to leave by themselves. Somebody, because they have no problem with continuing to shooting people with rubber bullets and tear gases, 7-year-olds. I mean, right, you know, so they have no problem with doing that anyway. So believe me, they didn't leave by a complete unanimous opinion that they should all just leave. Some paperwork pushed them out of their facility. There was some type of documentation that pushed them out of their facility. So what the people here need to do is get the leaders of these main stations, the medical place right there, the kitchen, and all the things that scream municipality. Because
they had a meeting. You were there.
Yeah, that's why I spoke last night.
Right over here where I was staying, where they're saying that the barricades They can't take that down. They got too many guys.
You have to be a municipal. This is whether it's state land or federal land being a park. You have to be some type of municipality to really do as much as that has been done with this movement. So if that kind of power comes first, and that kind of authority comes first, which is natural authority, whether you have paperwork or not, you just kind of just, scoot over. You know what I'm saying? So if that's being done and accomplished in a manner to where it's making, I mean, come on now. The fire trucks and the police don't even want to come here because it's like they're violating some type of code. You know what I mean?
I was
Like
gonna say maybe crossing into a different jurisdiction.
exactly. So why the heads need to get together? I want to help the heads get together and facilitate the documentation that backs up this movement in this technicality, this movement. Because when you defund the police, that they're locked into a tax bracket. It's like a permanent, you know what I mean? It's corroborative with their existence. Okay, all right, with the city's existence. So,
You can live stream this. I know what you mean.
right?
It was given to me
Human
by the
organ
guy
transplant.
in the ambulance. It was a gift from the Josh, the guy in the ambulance. I looked inside. It had hygiene and 2 pre-rolls. I was like, okay.
Pre-rolls.
Pre-roll, right?
Indeed.
I get it. From
Wait,
the ambulance
Yeah,
gives
from
you
the guys
pre-rolls.
that were driving, giving out the.
Man, what kind of ambulances do you have here in Seattle?
They only the walls and the roads and the brick roads and the dirt roads to top.
Right, for real.
Well, it's not called the Emerald City. That's it.
Right.
It's
Right.
that.
Right. So when they defund the police, which is a key stratagem to be facilitated between people who's trying to do something, because the only way you can defund the police is if you redirect the funds that you're going to take. Because what does that mean? They have many different services. They get paid for each service. They get one of their functions is carrying licensed weapons, right? Another one of their functions is real estate, because they got to pay the county or not the state rent. Somebody has to pay some rent to somebody else, one way or the other. Utilities, that's being overwritten and written off as a benefit. So they got traffic, they deal with traffic. They deal with many different functions. So what people sound like what they're trying to do is not really get rid of the police and completely take away their funding. Is that we want to take away certain functions of their operation. That's the key. So with the money that you're going to take away from them from being an armed patrol with fucking semi-automatic weapons just for nothing, and when there's no immediate danger or no response to an emergency, you're just out here like that. Let's take away that funding, whatever program or whatever, you know what I mean, or whatever branch of their corporation funds that portion, because they're needed for traffic. You know what I mean? Traffic, police are needed for other search and rescue things are needed for, and they're needed for murder.
You mean just to be clear, for investigations, right?
To respond to a murder investigation, or respond to a situation where there's like assault up to murder. You know what I mean? Because the average person will either maybe mess their life up afterwards if they really had to deal with some of the real blood and guts nature of that portion of crime. You know what I'm saying?
You mean to protect citizens against violent crime?
But or just be able to, yeah, exactly, in a roundabout way. But so there's, when you say defund them, which is the real key, because you want to be able to transfer that money that you're defunding them from, and be able to easily move that under another name, which would be the name of whatever municipality this decides to run under.
But are you talking about replacing, for instance, Seattle, replacing the Seattle Police Department with another organization that provides the services you want? Or are you talking about establishing something within CHOP, a new municipality that would have
I'm talking about both on a two-way front, but leaving the police as they are but defunding certain functions they have, defunding certain city functions they have. You know what I mean? Like when you pull somebody over on a traffic stop, we're not going to live in what if scenarios, because people don't get charged. Crime doesn't happen because of, oh, what if he would have robbed him? No, he robbed him. Or what if he would have shot him? No, he shot him. Not a what if. So the police are carrying guns under the guise of what if. You know, what if. So leave the police, let them deal with traffic. Let them deal with other civil disputes that don't require the excessive force and violent response, because what if a person does this to us?
Then what were you saying about CHOP? You want CHOP to be its own municipality? And you want that to be codified in law somehow?
Exactly, because it's already codified in law. Nobody has just solidified it through documentation. You know what I mean? Somebody's real estate got it readjusted. These are, regardless of the class of citizenship or the class of identification, a group of free moral beings took over state property. That is a municipal issue. You see, it's already baptized and already got its foot wet in the municipality pool. It's already there, to where anytime a so-called civil service like the police or the fire department will not respond to your, like you said, jurisdiction, right? They're giving over jurisdiction without any serious bloodshed from the police. Of course, there's been violations that are over exaggerated and excessive, but the police have not really named they have named, but they haven't killed anybody like this was a war type scenario in regards to the protest that got everything established. They haven't done it. So whether these people know it or not, is they've already given over jurisdiction when they moved a body politic from one building in a state to another in response to the action. That is a law. That's already a law.
All right, but does CHOP have the manpower to keep its territory?
Now that's what I mean. Since it's been proven, exactly, good question. Because since it's been proven that it didn't take bloodshed to get this accomplished, say that.
Well, it seems like CHOP is giving up territory and losing bodies by the day.
Well, that's because that's what I was going to say. The booths that facilitate pieces of a municipality. You got the medical. This is the only medical behind us.
I don't know if I'm allowed to film there.
Oh, okay.
you might know better than me.
But I'm just saying that already solidifies the authority of the medical booths. The fact that you said, I don't know if I'm allowed to film there, they have some type of, regulatory aura about their situation over there. So, but that's needed. The medical's needed. The kitchen is needed. The garbage. There's a guy yesterday who makes sure that he comes and gets all the garbage taken care of. That's needed. And there's a couple other functions out here, the so-called security, that's needed. But what's missing is nobody is coming together once a week and making sure the documents match up to the municipal adjustment that's already been made. So people are wondering, what are they going to do? No, what you should do is get together every week, document what you're doing, get you a couple of tax forms, and jot everything down. You turn it into paperwork. You have to turn your actions into paperwork. And really, it's a matter of, you're not going to treat me like an animal, which is kind of the whole goal of this. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Give us humane treatment, meaning a little, just give us that little bit of, like, we're not going to let you chain us up or throw our food on the ground and any other animalistic treatment. Not like we hate animals or like they don't perform some functions better than us, but you're not going to treat us like animals. But with that comes paperwork. But really, doing paperwork is the only thing that sets us apart from animals. They got a language, they can read, some of them can write, but they just don't know how to do the paperwork. They write on a tree or make a mark somewhere right? But they don't know how to do paperwork and form documentation, which is a major source of why we're able to exercise any type of movement between people. It's all paperwork. Everywhere you go, whether it's applying for a job, whether it's going, when we go through 1 through 12, you don't go to the next grade or get your promotion until you turn in enough paperwork. We call it homework, right? You have to turn in your paperwork. So for some reason, when we get things accomplished after being told to be more than an animal, right? Then we're guilty of that. If we wait for people to tell us to not be, or to not be less than an animal. Oh, I have to go to college, or I need a business license. Well, you didn't need a business license to get this accomplished. So you can license or legitimize this movement by putting all the functions of municipality together on documentation. And every time the mayor comes here, since it's what, almost a month now, longer than that. Because I mean, you're pushing up on a quarter of occupying state land. All you gotta do is file for your taxes. You know, and you can't do that unless you have a structured name, an umbrella that everybody can come under together with. You know, they can, umbrella name, CHOP seems to be the umbrella name. So you got this booth for CHOP, you know what I'm saying? We're spending this much, this is our service, this is what we provide, this is how many people we facilitated, and this is how much it costs, these are the products, here's you know, this is the documentation and authority. This is our license to drive, literally. Even if you were to take a sovereign stance where you like the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and identification in regards to corporate status and a lot of other things, taxes and right to bear arms, and you know, all the so-called sovereign citizen, which is a misnomer. The sovereign movement is what already happened. So, you know, so if you do that paperwork and state the move, the date of the move in, who moved out, a municipality moved out. Now, if businesses, this is what makes this key. A municipality moved jurisdictions because of a civil response to citizens. The last time I checked, when a group of citizens moved municipality, that was since like the Civil War. Since the Civil War, or they had something, yeah, the Civil War. There has not been a jurisdiction abandoned by any type of weaponized agency for the state or the city or the county. There has not been a movement like that without bloodshed ever in our country. Ever. To where the police move because of a response to a civil gathering. Ever. You can't find it. You can't find it. You won't find it. So it's a title in law when that happens. There's a real estate title for it when one municipality moves in regard to a civil response and not bloodshed. And what it is halfway doing the paperwork and what's needed to defund in the certain areas. How much money is it costing to get these weapons? How many weapons do they all have? What's the price of each weapon? You know, bullets. How many bullets have been spent for the last, 3 or something in real estate? That's like, 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. How many bullets have been bought? Okay, now how many hospital bills have resulted from people being injured by the police in a violent manner, and they didn't have a violent presentation to give the police? How many hospital bills? What's the bill for that? Add all those things up, and then times them by a certain cycle. They're gonna hate me. and add it to a certain cycle. You know what I mean? And then you add that up, and then times it by whatever cycle you use, and defund them. That's how much needs to be taken out of their, you know, funding. And then that also degrades you from certain functions. See what I mean?
So,
You know, and so you take that and then you say that's how much money we need for this place to do our own security, which is, and then see, you're making yourself, because if you haven't known by now, the federal government is better than the state government. That's like when it comes to going to court and stuff. You don't, when you're really innocent until proven guilty. What's up now? When you are alleged, when you are charged with an alleged crime, you literally get to stay free until a certain time after your conviction, if you're convicted by the federal government. Just, you know what I mean? So it's different from the state case. You don't get arrested and then get taken to jail until you go to court and get freed. You're not taken to jail. You might go to jail for a time period, and if the feds pick your case up, they're going to release you and they'll give you that privilege to come to court and give you some time after you're convicted before they actually lock you up. They actually exercise the so-called freedoms and the blessing, I guess you could say, blessing of the rights that people have in America that make this country better than the others, is that right there. So, point being that that's what the funding, defunding and refunding needs to go into, because the camp was here before CHOP. It just wasn't as big. You would definitely find any given day in this park, long before the CHOP incident, 10 to 15 tents.
that's across the entire park.
Across the entire park. You might even be a little more, but back...
And about how many tents would you say there are now?
Well, there's about 75.
And at its peak during CHOP, about how many tents?
I don't know. I wasn't privy to see that. But that's what I'm saying. And so then you take all those tents, right? All those tents. I'm glad you mentioned it too also. But how many people are staying here? And it's not harmful to form a list. To just form a list and keep tabs on people who are, I forget the name. There's a term you would have to use to describe what's happened that's already in law. And it's not refugee. It's, you have to file under a certain type of corporation. and filing has nothing to do. Filing is creating your own license. Since, like I said, this is a unique situation. And so unique that it can work in reverse and happen if everybody got together and did their paperwork.
I guess we always come back to paperwork.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's all about paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
There's the age-old philosophical question of what makes humans different from animals, and according to you, it's paperwork.
It's paperwork.
So I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, certainly. I thanks for interviewing me, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My name's Paradise, and you can reach me on Seattle Maximum on YouTube. Seattle Maximum on YouTube. And I go over the topics of history, politics, got some music, and some kind of X-Files of history about certain issues that you would enjoy if you got the patience to sit down and talk about this stuff.
All right, so the audience has got it. Seattle Maximum is your YouTube channel.
That's right.
All right, Paradise. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seattle Maximum. I think you guys got that. As our stroll through the park continues, there is the big crane. There's some construction in the area. I'm not so sure the crane is here to pick up the fist
I don't think
at
the
home
crane
plate.
is long enough.
Well, it's not long. I don't think it's long enough for its position right now, but who knows? If Seattle Maximum, or excuse me, if Paradise, aka Seattle Maximum, is right about all this need for paperwork, then it sounds like CHOP needs some lawyers and accountants. People really like you, so I'm just gonna put you on for a second. Do something. Smile. It will make their day.
Let's just go through.
All right, walk right by the mix tent. I'm not so sure I can film there.
So here's also the clothes drop-off where people can get clothes.
Oh, someone just subbed the Seattle Maximum. Good to hear that he's getting some new fans and followers. Yeah, I don't. Well, that's interesting. So
They say that every day.
So someone just walked up to this tent that I'm not so sure is the medic's tent.
It doesn't look like a medic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna film a little bit. I'm gonna film a little bit around here, including this tent right here. And someone just walked up to the tent asking, hold on one second. Someone just walked up to this tent asking, is there gonna be a sweep today? As in, are the police or city officials gonna come in and clear out all of CHOP? And the response from multiple people in the tent was, they say that every day. A look at some of the colors and messages of the lesser frequented end of the park. I guess lesser frequented by media, I should specify. Anarchy baby. And what were you saying about the potential medics
I
tents?
think it's over there, the white one with all the tags next to the red car.
Don't know for sure, but
I think.
possibly this is the medics tent.
So I think I'm positive because this tent used to be in the middle of the park, and we were not allowed to film there at all. And I think they moved it over there because this is not the medical tent. This is a closed drop-off. And I haven't seen any other tent spots like that. I mean, maybe we can just walk by, point the camera down.
We'll do a little loop. I've never shown that over there. So a look at the back end of Cal Anderson Park. It was interesting to hear from Paradise. I don't know if those figures are accurate, but he was saying that before CHOP there would tend to be 10 or 15 tents here in the park. He's estimated that there's 75 tents in the park now. I would estimate there are more. I don't see any needles in the area where I'm walking, but that's not to say that there aren't needles in this park.
No, but in general, it's not as dirty as people might think. It also doesn't smell bad here. In Los Angeles, when you walk through downtown, it smells way worse. Hollywood, worse. People playing music.
This is not the big fist that requires the crane that we've been talking about. Someone's calling this the Lost Pyramid of CHOP. Kind of like that name. I was talking a bit about the smell yesterday when we've been asked so many times as something is smoldering in this trash can. That reminds me a bit of Los Angeles a month ago. In general, I don't think it smells terrible here, but it's not sparkling clean. I think now's a decent time to bring up our discussions earlier today with a lady walking a dog. You wanna share some of what we heard from her?
That lady, she walked her dog here. She said,
I don't want to say exactly where it's from, but she's
live right here.
She's a local.
Yes. And she told us that she walks her dog here regularly and she wasn't scared walking here. She never got assaulted by anybody. She also said she doesn't take pictures out of respect or videos or anything. And she used to live in New York, so she's used to crime or firecrackers being thrown around. And what else did she say?
But she also talked to us about how she thinks that the movement here has gone astray, how CHOP has gone astray. She was saying that she thinks the Black Lives Matter movement here has been hijacked, and that she doesn't think that she's saying that she wants to help black people, but she doesn't think what's going on here is really that much of a help to black people. And she did say that she viewed the Black Lives Matter movement here as being hijacked. And I think she was a bit ambivalent with regard to the security. She wasn't flat out saying this is a safe place to walk around. And she's saying she could understand how certain neighbors feel unsafe here, but
she didn't.
She seemed to be all right with walking her dog in the park. Here's that crane. Better look at some of the, actually part of the neighborhood, some of the construction. For those of you who aren't aware, neighbors and local business owners are suing the city over CHOP, becoming a contentious and highly publicized legal battle. Where do you suggest we walk with regard to this tent?
Straight
We're heading back in the direction now of the sports field. And Annabelle thinks that what we're looking at to our left is... What do you think this is?
I think it's a medical thing.
I don't know. Might be, might not be. I don't know. Well, a lot of people like to put on their tents that they don't want anyone coming in or giving them attention. I don't know. What excuse me. What's this guy saying? What are you saying? I don't know. This doesn't have a medic's tent feel to me. There's a sign that says, "Don't be complacent." I see a van with someone sitting inside and rap music. If that's the medic's tent, it just really doesn't have the feel of a medic's tent. And I'm walking by a "Please do not film" sign right by a tent set up either adjacent to, no, actually in the playground here.
When it's not this tent, then he is no medic's tent. I wouldn't know what.
And here's a little bit of a shot of the densely populated gardening area. Hey, you've already picked up a few new subscribers, I hear.
Right.
Yeah. I was saying hi to Paradise as I'm walking by. He's in conversation with someone. I'll show you a look at the porta potties and the little wash station, as well as the dumpsters that are in the street at Olive and 11th here on the edge of the park. Across the street there's a church, Central Lutheran. It looks like it has a Black Lives Matter message painted on the entrance. Someone's sitting there. I'd like to film this. Hopefully he doesn't mind. More porta potties in the street along the edge of the park. Excuse me, would you mind if I get a shot of the entrance here to the church? So here's the Central Lutheran Church, and this is what the entrance looks like. And it's far from the only church in town with a Black Lives Matter sign, although I haven't seen any other church with an entrance decked out like this one. Yeah, today is Sunday. We'll head back into the streets of Chop. As far as I'm aware, no sign of city workers, but let's check again. Here's a residential building that I previously showed you the Black Lives Matter sign on one side of. I'll show you what signs and boards lie on the other side. This might be the front. 1111 East Olive. Residential building, possibly a mixed use, but can't tell what's at the bottom floor other than what's covering up the windows and entrance of the bottom floor. And we are outside the boundaries of Chop right here. George Floyd, and I think it says Floyd again. We got a Black Lives Matter sign also in this window. What were you saying?
Looks like a expensive building.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I'm gonna change things up a little bit and throw a curveball. Does anyone have any news on what's happening in Portland today? If you do, please post whatever updates you've got on Portland in the chat. The Odds Fellow Temple Lodge? Isn't the Odds Fellow a cafe? And I was over there earlier today. You're saying it's a temple lodge? I can go over to the block of 10th that the Oddsfellow Cafe is on, which is also just outside the boundaries of CHOP. Vanessa's saying it looked quiet in Portland this morning.
Okay, so a 1-bedroom in this 1111 East Olive.
Oh, you want to say this? Annabelle's looking up how much it would cost to rent a bedroom here.
Yes.
A one bedroom apartment
Yeah,
in the building we were just looking at.
So 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 545 square feet is between 2,000 and 2,030.
I don't know what the going rates are in Seattle, but that doesn't sound so cheap.
And the art remains here.
Yeah, as does the barricade. And some of these barricades were at least partially open. What'd you say? How much? 2,000?
2005 to 2030.
Okay, so a little more than 2,000.
They're just legal workers.
Oh, no, oh yeah, those. They were. Let's try to get an interview with them. There's a team of legal aides here. I forget if they're paralegals or what. Here's the hot dog van. Gives you a look at the menu. Excuse me. My name's Josh Friedman. I'm a journalist from California, and I've been up there for a week. I've got a live stream going right now. Would any of you be willing to come on and explain what your role is here? Do you have a supervisor here or someone I could speak to from your organization?
Not right now. You can look at the Seattle chapter online at the National Lawyers Guild website. And they might be able to speak to you.
Okay, so you're with the National Lawyers Guild.
Yeah, I'm sorry we can't speak anymore, but have a great day.
All right, thank you.
What are you trying to talk to me about?
I just tried to ask them any question, like what are they doing here? What's their role here?
They're here to, in case somebody gets attacked or something.
Okay, you mind coming on camera?
I don't care about being on camera.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Applegate. I am here mostly advocating for the retail theft program to be abolished. But as far as those people go, like if, say, like a police officer fired a rubber bullet at you or something. I don't even know if this is the truth. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But they would be able to be like, oh, I've watched this happen. And since they're like lawyers or something, I think they're lawyers. They're what they see and what they say is like the fact. I think that's what they do. But do you know what the retail theft program is?
Okay. Pivot, transitioning to what you're doing here. Go for it.
Actually,
Go for it. You've got the floor.
Thank you.
Explain what the retail theft program is and why you want it abolished.
Well,
and just to be clear, so the
I
audience,
didn't say-
so the audience is clear. You're not affiliated with the National Lawyers Guild people, right?
no, but I'm not.
Okay,
Not whatsoever.
go for it. Explain.
The retail theft program is actually a department of the Seattle Police. It was established in 1989. It was supposed to. I feel kind of silly doing this, but it was 1989. They established it so that we could prevent shoplifting.
Oh, take it. So I'm on your computer. Okay, I got it. All right, so continue.
So we're the only city in the entire country that has a retail theft program or department that works like this. And so honestly, I wish that I was somebody else who's telling this message, not me, because I feel like I've tried to tell it down here a few times and it always gets stifled.
Well, this is the first time you're speaking with me, and you want to talk about the retail theft program. So here's your opportunity.
This is the number one preventable cause of homelessness in the city. It's the only actionable solution there is to stopping homelessness. The only one. And nobody would disagree about it either. It's like not a Democrat Republican issue, a black-white issue. It's not a Seattle police protesters issue. It's something that every single person would agree about the solution if they knew what it was.
So can you explain how it connects to homelessness?
So you know, most people don't know how to get free heroin in the city. They don't. Most people don't have friends that utilize the retail theft program to get free heroin. And everyone gets kind of shifty when you keep saying that word, hearing that word. But the fact of the matter is that it's easy to get free drugs in Seattle because of the retail theft program. In fact, like anytime you want to go get high, you literally can go to any of the 120 stores that belong to the retail theft program. And it's just within the Seattle city limits, by the way. And you steal just a variety of things off the shelf, and there's like basically no risk. In fact, in Seattle, you only get caught 1 in every 9 times. That's the statistic, honestly. And so then you just, like, within 5 minutes of leaving any retail store, you literally can have a bag of heroin or crystal meth or whatever it is that you enjoy.
How do you go from stealing something in a store to getting free heroin?
If you steal a bottle of Tide laundry detergent, you can, and you walk out of a retail store, any retail store, you literally will have a bag of whatever, assuming you're downtown, you know, you either get a bus ride downtown or you're already there. And within 5 minutes, you will have a bag of whatever you want in your hand. You can trade it for Dove soap, you can trade it for a toothbrush, you can trade it for beef jerky. It's all cash at a certain point. And there's a huge, it's just easy. Drugs. Here's an electric toothbrush, drugs. Here's Tide laundry detergent, drugs. Here's I don't know, what else? What else is there? Diapers, drugs. Baby clothes, drugs. It's just like that, honestly. And the retail theft program doesn't stop shoplifting. And in fact, if they do happen to catch you, you get such a slap on the wrist that it doesn't even matter. And you know, and half the stores in this town, I don't want to say anything like actually it sounds too bullshit or too crazy, but so what question do you have?
I'm still trying to understand
Do you know
the retail.
do you know how to get free heroin if you need it?
Sir, I'm sorry, but I don't go around getting free heroin.
But
so,
if you care about people who get free heroin on the street and people who are stuck in homeless drug addiction and the opiate crisis, people who are stuck in a system that's really difficult to get out of because of things like the retail theft program, then you'd be able to help those people. How can you help them if you don't even know how they're getting their free drugs?
Okay, so someone steals something from a store, trades it for drugs, and then how does that connect to the retail theft program? They get arrested and they become entered in the retail theft program?
Every single shoplifting case goes through the retail theft program. If you get in trouble for shoplifting, it's through the retail theft program. Yeah. And it's not like a program. It's actually the Department of the Seattle Police. It's like named kind of funky. It's a misnomer.
Okay. I think we're trying to make sense of it, and we'll stay on it, and later we'll try to make some more sense of it.
Let's go talk to the news lady over there. She's supposed to talk to me.
Okay.
Come with me.
I am a newsman.
No, you're actually a news person?
Yes, my name's Josh Friedman. I write for Cal Coast News in San Luis Obispo, California. Right now I'm live on my YouTube channel. You don't need to call me darling, though.
Sorry. So Como 4 owes a big apology. Is that Como 4?
I didn't even see who walked by.
Oh, is that Como 4? Anyways, Como 4 for sure owes a big apology to the CEO of Awadjamaya. She does. Woo! Absolutely, because the CEO of Awadjamaya was crying to her. Like, she went and she cried on... No, I feel bad for the woman because she's upset. She's upset because they turned in 410 shoplifting incident reports. And that's what you fill out when you catch a shoplifter. You know, you catch them, arrest them, send in the shoplifting incident report. Only 2 of them out of 410 resulted in charges being filed.
So is that because the retail theft program is ineffective and no one gets charged, or what?
I mean, I don't think that's a very good question.
You don't have to answer the question.
Let's start at the beginning.
No, we're like
if
10.
You don't know,
we're like 10 minutes into this already.
And then that's the problem for you though, because you should know the questions to ask to figure out what's going on with it.
I've asked you multiple times What is the retail theft program exactly, and how does that connect to the homeless crisis?
The retail theft program is a department of the Seattle Police, period.
Okay, now how does that connect to the homeless crisis?
It doesn't stop shoplifting. Shoplifting is the #1 way that homeless people pay for their drugs. When you're stuck on drugs on the street, it's hard to get off the street. And it's easy just to keep doing drugs because they're free.
Okay, so you're saying that...
I'm not on drugs, by the way, and I don't shoplift.
So you're saying that the setup encourages homeless people to keep using drugs.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
no consequence. It's free, it's easy, and it's just enabled that the Walgreens. Sorry, I'm not the Walgreens. You want to speak about Walgreens? They cover.
No, I don't.
You absolutely want to have to hear this. This is the biggest. This is. How do you guys? I don't know. How do you guys not think this is huge?
I'm going around. I'm interviewing lots of people.
I know, but this is the
and
scoop.
I'm giving you your voice.
I don't want a voice. I really don't.
Okay, if you don't want a voice, then I'll go.
Let's
go. If you don't want a voice, let's go.
See, this sucks because the only person who knows about this simple solution is somebody who nobody can take seriously or wants to hear out. You know, or have to communicate this idea, but it doesn't mean the idea is not the only solution.
What am I doing?
All right. Thank you. And
I'm not satisfied. You guys don't even know what it is. And you spend 10 minutes talking. Come on. How can we spend 10 minutes talking and have it be for nothing? I don't even know what it is.
okay.
It feels like and if you could help me, because I try and talk, it's 100 million %. She knows. Miss, can you come here? We're trying to. I can't do it. Darling.
Oh, that's a cool face mask. Look at this reporter's face mask. All right.
In 1989, the amount of homeless people being prosecuted for shoplifting tripled almost overnight.
Why do you think that happened?
Maybe he's exactly right about the retail theft program and shoplifting and free heroin. I don't know. That interview has morphed into a new conversation on the barricades down at 11th and Pine, and we're no longer part of that conversation.
No, I'm just wondered that he said we have a conversation for 10 minutes and I even didn't talk to him, you know. I explained to him, I'm just recording him. This was not about a conversation. He could say express whatever he wanted to express, but it was kind of like an unwinded conversation and he, I don't know, I just don't get it. What's the point?
This is process journalism. So when I'm live streaming, you're getting to see everything that goes into finding a story and reporting a story, and if I wasn't live streaming, then a lot of these things would never appear for you to read or hear or view.
So what
It's just what you get as part of process journalism.
What I heard around here about the heroin issue or the drug issue, but here in Seattle, there's like an open space where you can get drugs from like 6 to 8, but this is not enough. The people are not really taking care on the drug addicts. That's why a lot of drug addicts and homeless people came here, because this community was taking care on them. Yeah, that's what I know.
I've been having some conversations off camera, off stream with some locals about homelessness here. By the way, they say you're so sweet. And by no means have I gone to the bottom of it. One question I was posing is that coming from California, I hear all the time that we're a magnet for the homeless. They come for the weather, among other things, and that the retail theft program conversation is now chasing us down. So the retail theft program conversation has now made its way to the intersection of 12th and Pine as this reporter with an interesting face mask makes a right turn away from the computer. That aside, I was posing the question about whether some of the homeless here are only living here now that the weather's warm, and maybe they migrate south in the winter and the cold weather months. And someone was suggesting to me, no, that's not really the case, that there are a lot of locals who've been here a long time who are homeless, and they're even here in the cold. But I don't know. Justice for Josiah. I'm not sure who Josiah is. To set the scene a little bit, the barricade remains here on Pine, just I think this is east of 12th. This barricade is in full force, and looking up above the barricade, didn't mean to hit that button. Shit. I didn't harm the picture, I don't think. I hope not. Looking up a little bit, this tree canopy is right in front of where the standoff on the roof was a few nights back. So yeah, up here on that rooftop is where the man was having the mental health crisis a few days ago, and there was a big controversy that I streamed over whether or not the fire department was going to be let in.
Media and I don't know what news channel they're not liking it, that this woman with a red shirt and this mask thing is coming over there and talking to them.
Yeah, here the sentiments toward the mainstream media are not very positive. I think here the mainstream media might have it worse than I have in terms of press freedom. What happened with the guy on the roof? Well, you should watch the end of that live stream, because out of nowhere, Rage Brew came on and answered that question and a whole lot more. He also discussed his departure from the security team, why he left the security team, and detailed what happened with the man on the roof and how they got him down. So what do we need to see here?
No, I just want to check them out because they're always hating them.
Yeah, so I'm forgetting which stream that was, but I think I put man. I think I changed the title so it says "Man on the Roof." So if you go back a few days, there should be a video on my channel that I think has "Man on the Roof" in the title, and it's a long stream, probably 5 hours or so. And if you go to the very end of it, or right before the very end, there's an interview with Rage Brew explaining what happens. And what would you like, Annabelle? Oh, she wants to buy something. Never mind. Here's a look at some of the artwork on the building. This is a liquor store right across the street from the East Precinct. Oh yeah, I guess some of you still know Rage Brew as Brad, but I refer to him as Rage Brew. If you want to know why he's got the name Rage Brew, or how he got the name Rage Brew, he explains that in the interview that is now a standalone video on my channel that was released yesterday. On 12th, just north of Pine, a lot of colorful artwork. I believe at least some of it was here before CHOP, although not the barricades. In fact, right over here. I was saying
It was the same lady I asked yesterday for an interview interview, and she said she didn't want to make any comment.
Rather than an interview, could you ask her nonchalantly what it's like to run a liquor store right next to all of this? Like, is it good for business, bad for business?
It was really difficult for her. That's the impression that I got.
Okay, we'll have to read between the lines, I guess, but Annabelle's probably pretty good at doing that.
And it seems that she was not happy about what's. It seems like that she was absolutely not happy about what's happening here around the shop.
Well, it makes me wonder. Maybe she gets more customers, but maybe it's much harder to operate the store. I don't know. Maybe she does not get more customers. Oh, then that's the perfect segue into another conversation we had. And let's walk down the street away from Chop for a minute or two to discuss a conversation we had. And I'm not going to say which business this is. I don't want to say. Have a good day. It looks like you're having a really good day. I've got a live stream going. I'm a small YouTuber. You want to pop on and show people some of your moves?
No. But I'll dance in the car.
Could I bring you on for 30 seconds just to say hi?
Right.
All right. So how's your Sunday afternoon?
It's great.
What are you doing on this Sunday afternoon?
I do caviar food delivery.
Oh, I see. It says caviar there.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen someone have so much fun while delivering food.
Of course. I meet a lot of new people, and that's what I love to do, I guess, meeting people and laughing and smiling and engaging, So.
Since we're here on 12th by Pine, are you delivering to Chop?
No. I'm actually picking up my own food right now.
Oh, from somewhere.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Great food too.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
Black Lives Matter. Okay. It's all lives matter, but right now Black Lives Matter because it's too much going on with the police, and SPD killed my cousin, Charlene Alliance, 5 months pregnant. So we need justice.
My condolences.
Thank you. So, fuck the police. Have a good day.
I'm sorry about your loss, but enjoy your Sunday.
Have a good day.
You too. Go away, wind. We don't want any wind here. Oh, she's really playing Fuck the Police. On cue, she says Fuck the Police, and then she starts playing Fuck the Police.
I think that's in her playlist.
Let's go to a spot somewhere right around here and have a conversation briefly about some of our conversation earlier with a person working in a business here. I don't want to say what business it is, nor what type of business it is, but yeah, we're 1 block away from Chop, but I must say, of all the locations I've been thus far that are just a block away from Chop, this one looks the most calm and normal. As Annabelle walks across the street to check out a cafe, I'll get this little chat going. So, I've been trying. Can I interview Rage Brew again? I've interviewed him twice already. Although, didn't Rage Brew offer for us to come stop by his home, wherever that is, somewhere?
The party bus?
Well, I don't think the party bus. I think maybe he'd show us the party bus, but I think
No, I think he only stayed in the party bus as the.
I think he said we could come by his home somewhere else in Washington State. I forget where.
To
But
visit his cat.
maybe. So we were talking earlier.
It's actually a
We
mouse, maybe.
we were talking earlier. Does Annabelle think U.S. cafes are? Comments went too fast and I missed them. Something about U.S. and European cafes.
European cafes are better,
ask
obviously.
that
I can
question
see
later.
anything.
We both know a
Okay.
thing or two about European cafes. We were talking earlier with someone working in a business, possibly a manager, a business right in or around CHOP. I'm not going to say which business, not going to say what kind of business, but we were told that early on, CHOP was doing all right. I mean, the business was doing all right as CHOP was getting started, and there were a lot of tourists or people from out of the area coming to check out what was going on at CHOP. And they said that because of that, they were getting either more customers or a steady flow of customers. But then after a while, they said their customer flow decreased considerably.
By 8%.
And they said by an estimated 80% that they've only got about 20% of the customers now that they normally do. And they seem to be implying Portland update, there's a lot of Antifa. Let's get back to that in a minute. At this business, they seem to be implying that the shootings were scaring people off, that after the shootings, maybe even before the shootings, but after the shootings, people were scared of walking around the neighborhood, walking around the streets in and around CHOP.
And also, especially what the heard in the mainstream media, she said, it scared the people even to walk into this neighborhood, to this little taco place. And she also said that.
So she was saying that a lot of people, shootings aside, were just starting to become concerned that they're concerned that there's no police in the area and that there wasn't a way to protect them, or they wouldn't feel safe. I'm not gonna share all the details. I'm still trying to speak with several business owners or managers in the area, and I may do so while I'm still here, may do so upon leaving, but this one person we spoke to at this one business made it clear that they're losing customers now, and that a lot of people feel unsafe walking around here, or just aren't even willing to come here because they feel so unsafe, or they think it's going to be so unsafe.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. What are all these comments about Bilderberg? Do we have an announcement? I don't know. Portland. What was... What are we hearing about Portland? Someone was saying there's a lot of Antifa there. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out for comments about Portland, and I'll flip the camera around and head back into CHOP. I can't assure you a bunch of Portland reports. We don't have a whole lot of time to spend there, unfortunately. I need to get back to LA because of a family matter, but we'll at least be stopping in Portland and trying to get a glimpse of what's happening there. I can hold it. I think there's some things in the pockets. Just make sure they don't fall out. Someone's saying in Aurora. Is that Aurora, Colorado? I've seen that there's been action elsewhere in Oregon. I think there was a standoff late last night in another city in Oregon. I forget which one. I don't know if there's been action in Eugene. But yeah, I've been wanting to check out the protest action in Portland for some time, particularly when they tried to set up the autonomous zone and when there was the statue coming down, and then there's been more action, I think, with the fire this week, but we'll see. I'm hoping that I can get someone who I know in Portland who's familiar with the situation to come on the channel. Maybe we go out and do some live reporting, or maybe we just do an interview. We'll see what's possible. But that could be coming up as soon as hours from now. Helicopter flying overhead, flying by. Annabelle's channel is
Romika Annabelle. ROMIKA ANNABELL.
There you go. That's Annabelle's channel. You ask, she answers. Oh, there's our clown. Isn't that guy the clown?
Yes.
Alright, well, we already gave him one interview. We just bumped into the clown, but he's not a clown today. We've already showed you all around 12th and Pine. This is the folk. Alright, I'm losing connection, but I think I'm back as someone walks by with a rainbow flag. Is the picture all right? I lost connection very briefly, but I think it. Do we have picture? I lost connection very briefly. Okay, good. I need the cord. Is the cord in here?
It looks great, dude.
Sorry if it's choppy, but it should get better now. Every now and then, for some reason, I hit a spot where I lose connection. But hopefully that won't happen again during this broadcast.
You guys are great. Thank you so much. You guys really do look cool.
There's still, as we walk by the East Precinct again, I'd say there's still a bit of a touristy feel.
Yeah, a lot of pictures are being taken. Posing, selfies, Instagram pictures.
It feels like anything but the day in which CHOP is being dismantled. So even though we came late as far as the duration of CHOP, and even though we've been here a week, it doesn't look like we're gonna see the end of CHOP, nor the city coming in and forcing people out. We saw the city live on Friday morning. We saw the city come in with a couple of those bulldozers or land excavators, whatever you want to call them, and with loads of SDOT workers and vehicles and some police protection, and they started to clear some stuff out and then stopped and backed off and left. That video is on my channel, or that stream is on the channel, and you can look 2 days back to find it. It's not super busy, but it's not deserted here. Chop is definitely not over. And the barricades aren't gone. That was another thing. It seemed like both, as I noted earlier, it seemed like both the city and the protesters were in agreement that barricades like these here at 11th and Pine, and definitely this one down at 10th and Pine, that they could go. I've got a live stream going, but if you want to promote your music, you can come on for a second.
We're just friendly music. If you guys don't mind, we ask for friendly donations.
Sorry, I'm not donating, but if you want to promote your cause on, here you go.
Keep the kids off the streets and on the beach through the music.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was saying, it seemed like the city and the protesters were in agreement that this barricade, I'll walk down there, that at 10th and Pine could go and would go by today. But it's Sunday afternoon and that barricade is still here. No MGK to speak of here. Granted, I don't know, maybe he's come up here some other day, but I definitely haven't seen MGK here. You see, the bus stop is now more like a donation drop-off sign. Let's flip the camera around. You got anything to say right now?
Well, the only thing what changed basically is that the boxes with the art is removed, but those baton barricades still remain. I'm wondered how they even got them here, because they are so heavy that you need a crane to lift them.
I think we're gonna wrap up this stream shortly, so let's take a look. Who's got what comments and questions? And presumably this is our last stream here in Seattle. I'm specifically looking for Seattle and Chop comments and questions. Howdy, Costello. Thank you for being on the broadcast. I hear people are in some disagreement. Rage Brew's going on hunger strike. I'll flip the camera around, even though they probably want to stare at me. I don't know, it's distracting. I don't know what the deal is with Rage Brew, but I can reach out to him. With regard to us, you guys have already heard it numerous times. We'll be making a stop in Portland shortly, and we might be broadcasting to from there in just a matter of hours.
Look how many people there are.
Initially, I was planning on arriving here in Chop early this morning and sticking it out till whatever action unfolded, but it just does not look like the city's coming here today. Maybe have we walked down Nagle Street? I think we have. We've walked all over Seattle. I think we've walked on Nagle Street, but what specifically on Nagle Street? You're very welcome, nomadic viewer, or John, whatever you prefer to go by. I don't know if all the excitement here is over. It could get ugly at the end. I don't know. the city might need force in order to move people and barricades and objects on out of here. And what about the precinct? For all I know, maybe this carries on for weeks and I end up taking another trip back up here. I'm not planning on that, but who knows how long this will drag on. We did see some action in terms of a confrontation between the city and the protesters Friday morning, which we live streamed right here. But we never really saw it get violent. But nonetheless, I've been very grateful that, and I'll flip the camera back around. I'm very grateful that we've been able to document a lot of what's been going on here. We've been able to conduct numerous interviews. At first, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get many interviews because a lot of people are hostile toward filming. Many people came on camera, did interviews with us, and we got tons of them. We got a variety of perspectives. We got some people who were just tripping out a little bit, I'd say literally. And we also got people having serious policy discussions with us. And we got Rage Brew explaining everything from video games to how they got the man off the roof. Likewise, I think we really showed what the status of press freedom is here, or lack thereof. And
I just like the name Magic Monkey, I have to say.
Magic Monkey has been a loyal viewer since early on in LA, I think. Maybe before, I'm not sure. But yeah, and then off camera a bit, I'm going around and trying to talk with locals and business and try to get their side of the story. But that side of the story, I think, is also going to come out a lot in the press and in the courts. Because, as we know, there are lawsuits against the city over CHOP. What else have we documented here? We've documented the nightly meetings until we got chased out of them, and the people's assemblies, as they sometimes call them. For better or worse, there's a lot of infighting here, and we showed some of that. I'm not here to encourage that or to focus on it, but we saw a lot of infighting within CHOP, definitely on the field here at Cal Anderson Park during some meetings.
And we looked at the gardening area, what is still progressing. I think they're not going to take the gardening area down. Doesn't look like that.
Well, it's a big homeless encampment.
Yeah, no, maybe the tents, but not the plants.
Oh no, I don't think the plants are going. But I am glad. You know what? Today, as we were saying that we're walking through the homeless encampments and people don't film there for the most part, and Omari says in his streams that he doesn't go there. As we're talking about that, lo and behold, we get a 10-20 minute interview with the Paradise guy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but monitor some of the comments during the Paradise interview, but I had to turn them off because some of the comments were getting too distracting from that interview. But yeah, I saw some of you guys liked his lady friend and her story about the weed in the ambulance, if I'm recalling correctly.
So how long it will take for the produce? Or
you're the gardener.
Yeah, I mean basil and the lettuce and everything grows really fast, but until the tomatoes are ready, maybe 1-2 months. Depends how big the tomatoes are, but it will take a while.
Any last comments or questions? Someone ask something that I'll just leave to your imagination. And stay tuned to the channel, obviously, because as I keep saying, it might just be a matter of hours before we're back alive for you. It feels a little bittersweet leaving here.
Yeah.
I waited this is the last I think no, I haven't been to one or two other Western states, but this is the last Pacific Coast state I've come to. It took me 30 years to get here. I'm finally here. I don't have an OnlyFans. I still need to look into how that works. What people donate and then they get to chat with you, something like that.
OnlyFans?
Yeah, the OnlyFans.
I don't know. I just know that girls were using it. And
thanks a lot to all the people who've been loyal viewers throughout the protests and riot coverage over the past month. Thank you very much to people like Costello, to people like Lord's Army who have contributed. I was hoping Lord's Army would be in this chat, but I guess he's not. Nonetheless, I'd say go check out lordsarmy.org. He's got some protest music coming out that might interest you. I can't do super chats because this channel is demonetized, but I guess you could buy a demonetized sweatshirt or shirt on the We Are Change store and maybe that'll get me a little proceed.
I'm waiting for my sweater.
Yeah, you're gonna get a demonetized sweatshirt. Adult OnlyFans is adult
You don't
content.
know what OnlyFans is?
I thought it's just a place where you have Skype chats or something with your fans, but I don't really know it. One more pan of the tents, sure, but I'm not gonna go back to the gardening area because that's a little walk. I'll just show you through the fence what things look like at Cal Anderson Park. It's not empty. The city really appears to be in no rush to get people out of this park. So through the fence, we're out of focus and we're back in focus. There are two different clusters of tents on the actual sports field here. That being one cluster, and then there's another cluster over here. And then as we showed you earlier, on the other side of that soccer goal and that other fence, there are lots and lots of tents in and around the gardening area and beyond. So dozens of tents remain at Cal Anderson Park. A smaller number of tents, but very noticeable amount of tents remain outside the East Precinct. The protesters remain in control, at least from the outside of the East Precinct. CHOP is still in existence, although who knows for how long. Any last comments? You. Yes, you.
Me? Yeah, it's. I feel already. I don't know. We've been here for a week every day, and the beginning was pretty rough. And some people, as we filmed, they constantly filmed us. If we moved left or right, they filmed us. If we turned the other way, they filmed us. And in the end, they actually wanted to go on camera, what was pretty surprising.
There were moments in which someone's extremely angry at us for filming, and then 10 minutes later wants to come on our stream and is pretty much being grateful for us filming. Oh yeah, your channel, one last time.
Oh, Romika Annabelle, ROMIKA ANNABELL. And you can put that, I think, everywhere on Instagram, on Facebook, and you can find me everywhere there.
Alright, that's enough. That's a wrap from Seattle. It's been interesting to say the least. And see you shortly in Portland. Stay tuned to the channel. Hit the bell if you want notifications. And presumably we'll be coming to you in just a matter of hours. So from Seattle, Washington and CHOP, adios, au revoir, and tschüss, as they say in German. See you soon.